Humans have been trying to explain the origins of life since before the birth of Greece. Today, the most widely accepted theory is that of Charles Darwin, the main component of which being natural selection.
The idea behind natural selection is that the biological traits of a species change very gradually over long periods of time based on their sexual fitness
I.e., the traits passed down genetically.
and their interaction with the environment.
Modern proponents of the theory acknowledge the fact that natural selection will lead to eventual evolutionary peaks and valleys. However, these are explained by what's commonly referred to as evolutionary tinkering and poor design.
Evolutionary tinkering is a broad term encompassing the slow, gradual changes that occur during evolution. The idea being that a turtle may have a thick shell on its back now, but millions of years ago, its evolutionary ancestors did not.
Over an unbelievably long period of time, the ancestors of today's turtle was acted on by its environment and passed on certain genetic mutations through selective sexual fitness.
Gradually, the more favored modifications led to new traits being expressed and others being lost completely. This picture illustrates how, over many millennia, the shell of a turtle may have developed.
The stronger part of the natural selection argument comes from the idea of poor design. It essentially breaks down like this. Being that evolutionary tinkering is a slow, gradual process, scientists have accepted that natural selection travels through peaks and valleys.
In other words, as the process of evolution progresses, traits that in the past were beneficial have now become benign, or in some cases, detrimental. The fact that today various species have traits that can be useless or even harmful is strong evidence that natural selection is a reactive process.
Basically, evolution does not have a plan for the future. A perfect example being the fallopian tubes in women. There is a gap between the fallopian tubes and the ovaries. The distance the eggs has to travel can sometimes lead to a fertilized egg implanting itself in the fallopian tube.
This is known as an ectopic pregnancy, and before the birth of modern surgery, often led to severe complications and even death.
Some broader examples include the pharynx and the blind spot in the human eye. The pharynx is used for both eating and breathing, which can sometimes lead to a person choking. And the human blind spot is due, essentially, to the retina being inside out and the morphological changes associated with that.
The main idea here is that evolutionary tinkering and poor design support Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection. The fact that species today exist with various unnecessary or odd traits is proof that there is not an evolutionary plan.
Natural selection is a non-random process, but it is also reactive, not proactive. A platypus is an excellent example of both concepts.
While some people in support of intelligent design may explain it through God's playfulness,
Most people look at a platypus with the same reaction. The platypus, however, probably looks at it quite differently.